DIECAST NORBZ is a channel devoted to the teen to adult toy collector, pop culture fans, and fellow nerd enthusiasts. This is a PG-13 channel. I might say so. Viewer and parental discretion is advised. Hello to everyone out there in the grand universe. It's time for an episode of DIECAST NORBZ Activate. I am DIECAST NORBZ Galactic Hooligan, and today I'm actually going to be reviewing this beautiful bastard. It is 1986 Studio Series Springer, and I am actually here to take a look at him. He is from Transformers the movie. They did a lot of readjusting to this guy to actually make him palatable to the animation and to the animation model and the movie screen, and I am dying to show this guy off to you. I was actually playing around with him already and everything. There are a couple of things that are actually off on my copy, but aside from that, he is 1000% amazing, and I just want to take the time to show this guy off to you. Welcome to the show. As always, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, and please let me know that the DIECAST NORBZ is actually the Transformers and toy channel that you actually want to watch in your home. Pass me around like you've never passed anyone before. I am actually trying to reach my first 1,000 and then 1 billion overnight. So please pass me around. I'd really super appreciate it. And now let's take a look at Studio Series Springer. And stepping through the portal like Autobot Thor, it is Springer. Finally, we actually have Springer over here, and he is pretty freaking amazing. I really love this guy a lot, and just look at those chiseled details all together. He is awesome. I'm actually loving him. Let's take a good look at this guy. So one thing I'm actually really loving about this guy is that he has actually got a place for everything and everything in its place, and it's actually just really cool to actually see him carrying so much. He is coming at the leader class price, and that is actually the downfall of this guy. But aside from that, there are so many things to look up to on this guy. Now, he is a direct repaint of Voyager Springer here. And just to give you a quick look through as to what he actually does have as far as weaponry, let's compare him to what we actually had with the old Stage Springer here. We actually had these two swords right over here with this little rotor over here and everything like that that works pretty well. He actually came with these two blades right over here, so it wasn't like as broad as his broad sword should actually be or anything like that, but they actually came with like a really nice design and everything, so that was actually pretty cool. So I'm gonna just put that down here, sorry about that, buddy. And then he actually also came with two twin blasters over here, not necessarily twin blasters, but two blasters right over here here. So those are actually really nice, and you could actually kind of like join them up together to form his super ultra mega blaster. You know, I'm just picking words here, you know, but like a super ultra mega blaster here, and that was actually kind of like really nice also and everything. So that was pretty much it for the Voyager price point. What we're actually getting over here with the leader class price point is not only the fact that he's actually all like nicely well done here and everything, but let's take a quick look through his weaponry over here. We actually have his Wrecker Hammer right over here, and that's super nice. And just let me give you a little bit of clarity right over here. I'm not exactly sure if you can actually see it, but there is a place right over here that's actually made so. I think that if you actually really wanted to, you could actually put like a Toy Hex Wrecker symbol like right in the middle here and everything. So that's actually really nice. I don't know if this is actually the hammer of Solus Prime or anything like that, but it is a really nicely done hammer and everything. You actually have like a little divot right over here, so you can actually plug that anywhere that you actually see this little peg holder and everything, you know, so that's actually very cool. So now after we've actually checked out the hammer over here, we also have this blade right over here that is actually kind of like more of a broader sword and everything. So like that's actually really nice, and it's actually really nicely modeled too. We actually have the same coloring as his blaster over here, and that's actually very cool. It's very knight-like, you know, and you can actually kind of like put that right into his hand right over here, which is actually, it's just stellar. I really love the way that looks and everything. So like, that's number 2, and I love the paint that's actually going on in here. That is great. No flexible plastic right over here at all or anything like that, so that's actually really nice also. So number 2 weapon, and we'll just like put that over here, and just let's get this one. Oh right, and let's just check out the wings of the ones that are actually really familiar, and just let me, that's actually really nicely tight, so that's actually great. So right over here we actually still have the same 2 blasters that his original counterpart actually came with, and they're like they're actually the same color as his boots right over here. So there we go. So and I really like the coloring on this one a lot more than the last one. I didn't really get a whole lot of mileage out of the other one either or anything like that, but there we go. So we actually have his dual blasters and everything right there. So I'm just going to, sorry about that, I'm just going to put that right over here. And then we actually have his MX missile for when he has better things to do tonight than die. So there we go. That's really nice. I really love the modeling on this. Kind of wish this was actually painted for the leader class price point and everything, you know, but like, it's actually really nice. It's a good model and everything. I am pretty sure somebody's actually going to go bananas on painting this thing and everything. So let the ideas come forth. I really want to see exactly what you guys actually do with this and everything, you know, guys and girls, go have at it. Everyone in between, have at it. And this is also Blast Effects compatible. So if you actually wanted to have this zooming over to Devastator and everything like that, to devastate Devastator, you can. That's actually very cool. I really like that a lot, you know? I kind of almost wish that this guy actually came with 2 of these, so you could actually kind of like make like some kind of like crazy jetpack with it and everything. So that's really, really nice. And these pieces over here just fit really tightly onto Springer, so there's no way that you're actually going to lose it whatsoever or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure you're actually going to be keeping this into your weapon stockpile and everything like that. So again, good on you, you know, like there we go. And now we're actually going to come up to this sword right over here that I keep right there, and this is pretty much going to be what I'm mainly going to use and everything like that. This is the this is the blade that's actually going to become his helicopter blades and everything. So that's actually very, very cool, and I'm going to be primarily using this all together. I kind of wish that this was actually also painted silver, or like maybe a metallic shade of this color or something altogether. That's really nice. I love this so much. It's so cool. And then with this, you actually have something where you can actually kind of like tilt that back down like this, and then you can actually do that on either side, and then these actually open up to become the propellers and everything. So that's actually very cool also. They're both going the same direction. Like the one thing that I would kind of wish is that we actually had something that could actually kind of like make this come out and then twist it so you can actually have like the helicopter blades on either side and everything like that, being opposite each other, like a real helicopter. So that would have actually been very cool and everything, but I really love this a lot. And then once you actually install it into Springer's hand here, look at that guy. Like, I really love this a lot. That is exactly this broadsword that Springer should actually have. A knight like Springer should actually have a broadsword. So that's actually very cool. And just let me put this down over here. That's actually one of my main weapons for him. And also, he actually comes with his G1 blaster right over here. The one that was actually used in the anime, and the one that was actually used in the animation and everything for the 1986 movie and everything. And that is so good, so good. And I guess this is actually one of the reasons why we're actually playing the leader price point and everything. I really wish that there was like a mid-tier in between leader and Voyager, you know, because like then we can actually kind of like have our cake and eat it too and everything in some way. And again, this is blast effect compatible and everything. So if you actually really wanted to, you could actually have him fire off at the Decepticons and everything like that. So that's actually really nice. He's actually like, that's a big blast for him right there. And excuse me. And then this can actually also be stored right on his back as well and everything. If you actually wanted to put it over here, going more upwards and everything on his back, you could actually do that. There's a hole for the handle and everything like that. Also, the same place that you can actually put the helicopter propeller, where you can actually kind of like put that right there, and it fits really nicely there too and everything. And doesn't look bad on Springer being back there either or anything like that, you know? So that's actually really cool. So there we go. That's the weapons. And again, I really love him and everything like that. Just kind of wish the leader price point was like a little bit more tweaked on this one and everything. You know what I mean? But aside from that, I am not complaining whatsoever, because we actually got the premium paints on him and everything like that. We actually got like a lot of remolding. So let's take a look at Springer himself. Now let's take a closer look at what's actually been changed over here, because it's actually a lot, you know? So like right over here, we're actually going to take a close look at this version of Springer right over here. This is the Siege version, and then we actually have like all the scuffing that was actually going on over here and over here on his chest plate and everything like that. Moderate Autobot symbol right over here. We actually have like a broad broad yellow right over here and everything. Also, the insides were actually done up in green also. We have the green hands over here and everything. So that's actually kind of nice. It was actually kind of like nice for like the beginning of Springer and everything. We actually have this, which is actually a solid piece more than anything else, you know, all painted plastic and everything. He was actually mostly like done up in green over here. We actually have his face, and just let me bring my camera, let me just tilt this up a little bit so I can actually show you a little bit more of what I'm actually talking about here. So there we go, and he actually kind of like has like a pretty nicely chiseled face and everything like that, which is actually not bad or anything. We actually have this mohawk right over here and everything like that. Not really cut like as well as it actually should be. The venting that's actually over here and over here on his face is actually really nicely done also and everything. It's actually like a little bit more inset and everything, so that's actually really nice. We don't have anything over here as far as like the intakes that are actually supposed to be over there and everything. He's actually kind of like a lot flatter on the surface here and everything, so that was actually kind of like nice also and everything. They were actually kind of like excuse me, more or less thinking about like just like more of like the broad chest and everything like that, and the shoulders right over here and everything. And yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that's actually going on over here. We have like nice sculpted details going on into his trousers right over here. Over here is actually where we actually find like a lot of waffling in the legs and everything like that. I like the design that's actually going on the front. And then over here, lots of scuffing that's actually going on into his legs. So that is actually Siege Springer in a nutshell. What we actually get with Studio Series Springer is a lot better, and it's actually more well refined and everything. First off, let's take a look at like how they actually form the heads over here. I love like all the sculpted work that's actually going on back here and everything, and the modified mohawk over here is actually really nice as well and everything, you know. I like everything that's actually going on over there. We actually have a lot more of a deeper inset going on into his helmet right over here, and over here it's like a little bit more well refined and everything. Plus, I love like the fact that we actually have these steely eyes and everything like that going on right into Springer here and everything. So that is a welcome addition to what we actually have there. And then a lot better chiseling and everything going into his cheeks and everything like that, and like right into here on the sides of his face. That's actually really nice. We don't really have that much of a like a sunken face going on the outside right over here on this version of Springer. I mean, again, this one was actually really nice, but I really love the way this one was actually really well defined and everything. We have like a little bit more of an outward like jutting out of the chest right over here and everything like that, which I like. It actually gives him like a lot more presence and everything. The sides over here are really nicely sculpted and everything, plus the prominent Autobot symbol right over there, a little bit bigger than this or anything, and a little bit bigger than this right over here. I don't want to say that there's like Autobot symbol envy going on with this guy or anything like that, but like that's actually really nice and everything, you know. And as where we actually had like the glossy shine right over here, this one is actually really muted and everything like that, done more on a matte finish more than anything else. So I really love that. Over here we actually have like the shoulder pads right over here that are actually on the sides, just like they actually should be in the animation. You could actually, for instance, kind of like just bring this up if you actually wanted to, if that was actually your druthers right over there. But there we go. I really love this and everything, you know. Plus this venting right over here on the inside, really nice attention to detail. This, the sides right over here kind of like protrude a little bit more and everything than they did on the original version. I love the fact that we have like a little bit more of a crusting right over here also and everything. Very cool. Everything about this is actually really cool. The back of the heads, you actually have like a lot more in the way of great modeling and everything like that done up on the Studio Series altogether, also making him look very much like the Studio, so like the anime version and everything. So that's great. Let's see here. We'll actually keep going over here. We have like the just like a touch of yellow going right on his grill. That's nice. We actually have like a little bit more of a detailing going right into his belt right over here, so that's great. A little bit less design work done over here in his trousers and everything, which is actually it's kind of cool because we actually have like a lot more in the way of like actual line detailing and everything. And I don't know if you can actually see that on my camera, but oh, there it goes. You can actually see it better on this side right over here. We have like a lot better line detailing over here as opposed to this side right over here, which we actually have like a little bit more chiseling. The legs are actually really filled in on this, and they give it a little bit more length too and everything, which I love. I think that's actually really great on this one. Plus this one's actually kind of like more of a softer, like not a softer plastic or anything like that. Like that plastic is actually really nice, but like the way they actually did it and everything like that, it's actually kind of like a lot smoother and everything. On this version, I like the fact that we actually had like all this design work here and everything like it, which we actually we were able to keep this piece on the upper side, on the upper part of his thigh, but that's pretty much it. The feet and the boots are actually pretty much done the same and everything, except that there's no scuffing or anything like that. There's like this piece right over here that's painted. Also, I love the fact that we actually have like better sculpted, better painted wheels here and everything also. Very cool as opposed to this. And then this actually kind of like mirrors this just a bit, but it's actually like a little bit more aggressive. So I like that a lot. On the back, we actually have like separate pieces all together. You have like one piece over here of painted plastic, so that's actually really nice. And then these two pieces right over here that are great additions. And that actually really gives a lot to what we actually have with Springer here and everything. I love this. And the one thing where this guy, and this is what actually kind of like sold me on this guy in the first place and everything, and I have to do a little bit more tightening up on the forearms over here, and I'll show you why in a second, where this piece right over here, this is actually like just really tightly in there, and I love the fact that we actually have that. And you have to do like a little bit of forceful work and everything like that for the transformation sequence, but it's only used for transformation, whereas this version of Springer has like a little bit more. I mean, just because of the fact that we actually had it in the film, we actually have this right over here where he actually has this little blaster here, arm right over here, and it's this little piece that actually kind of like really made the difference to me more than anything else. I love that so freaking much. I wish we actually had like a little bit more detailing, and this slider is actually kind of loose on my copy and everything. Same thing with this other arm right over here also. It doesn't really like get in the way, because once this is actually over like his forearm, once this wing piece is actually over his forearm, it doesn't stop him from like doing anything whatsoever, or like or it doesn't like let this slide out uncontrollably or anything like that. But still yet, this piece right over here is actually worth its weight in gold. It's not Blast Effects compatible, but gods, I wish it was. You know, like that would have actually just like been like the perfect Springer to me and everything all together, you know? But that's actually really cool. I love that so much. But it's those little small attention to details that actually sold me on this guy all together, you know? Plus, we actually have this right over here where we actually have like the solid hands. This is actually a little bit lighter painted and everything all together. I love the fact that it's actually a separate piece. And not only that, but we also have like opening and closing fist and everything like that all together. And that's really nice. And I love the design on his fist and everything. A little bit bigger than this version of Springer, and in which case you'll actually see that in comparison right over there. It's just slightly bigger, but it's actually bigger in a way where it actually gives Springer a lot more presence, and I like that on this guy. His articulation is actually very cool. Springer actually has a 360 right over here on his head, uninhibited. He can actually look down a bit and everything, so like that's actually really nice. He can't really look up, and I kind of wish we actually had that motility in his head, but the fact that we actually have this covering him and everything like that, I don't think we're actually going to be able to get that. He has a 360 degree turn right over here. There is a little inhibition right over here when it actually comes down to where his arms actually land. So there we go. Right there is actually where you're actually going to feel that bump. So it's not really 360 degree or anything like that. Also, he can bring his arms all the way out like this, so that's actually really nice. He does have a turn right over here on his, oh, he doesn't even have a turn on his bicep, it looks like. He actually has a turn on his lower elbow right over here. I mean on his upper elbow, so that's actually kind of interesting. He has a lot over 90 degrees right over here in his elbow, so that's really nice. He has a spin on his wrist, so that's actually really great. He has opening and closing fingers, which I love to death and everything. I think that's actually really awesome. He can kick all the way out just like this, just to like kick Decepticons right in the face. He can actually kick all the way back out like this, so that's a good donkey kick. And then he also has articulation right over here, so he can actually do the full Van Damnation and everything, and that's actually really, really nice. He has a twist right over here at the thigh, so that's actually really cool. He has like a lot of like bend right over here on his legs, partially due to transformation, partially not, so that's actually really great. He has weird feet actually. His ankles actually kind of like actually tilts right over here, and then you can actually do like an up and down dorsiflexion and everything like that, but it's actually attached right over here to his toe instead of like being on the inside over here and everything, again due to transformation and everything like that. But I just think that that part of articulation is actually has always been kind of weird to me and everything. But he is very much so the Autobot that we actually love. And also we actually have shoulder articulation right over here. If you actually chose to use it, you can actually kind of like bring his shoulders all the way up like this, or you can actually bring it down like this and everything, the correct way, you know. But like there we go, and then that is Springer in a nutshell for articulation. Oh wait, I lied. Waist articulation, there we go. And now that's Springer in a nutshell for articulation. Transforming this massive bastard is actually pretty awesome. One thing that I have to say is that there are a couple of things that are actually off on my copy. You may have a little bit of a difference with yours and everything. Like these pieces right over here are actually very loose on mine and everything, and I'm not exactly sure if it deserves the Kiki's treatment, although I'm actually kind of considering it altogether. And then there's a piece right over here where connector piece that's actually right over here is not connecting correctly into the port that's actually going on here, and I might have to fix that. I might exacto it all together and everything. But aside from that, he actually kind of like goes along the same points of transformation. Look over there, it's Springer! Let's get Springer into his first transformation and check out exactly how cool he actually is. And let's do it. 1, 2, 3, headshot! I'm gonna transform this guys with Siege Springer, which I actually had on my channel like about 4 years ago. I had to look it up just now, so if you actually want to go back in time and see how I faced this guy back when I was a little bit more inexperienced with filming and with speaking on camera and everything, feel free to go check that out. You'll see a very awkward nerd going over there and doing like the Siege Springer review. But oh, one more thing about this arm. Now remember, if you're actually going to Kiki's it or use floor polish to like to stop that slider, remember also this actually locks things in pretty well and everything. So like, yeah, if anything else, I'd actually say tighten up these points right over here. But aside from that, he's great. So let's get into transformation. We'll actually start off by unfurling all of this right over here. We'll bring this all the way up like so, and then there is a connector port that's actually right in here that goes into this peg right over here. So let's bring that up, and then that should lock everything in like, and you just have to give it a little bit of a squeeze, a satisfying squeeze. There you go. And you should actually hear it lock in. Again, mine doesn't lock in as well or anything. So there are a couple of things that I'm actually definitely going to have to do to fix that up. And then you put this peg right into his hand right here, and that should hold. Right after that, you should actually be able to disjoint his arm right over here, and then we'll actually do the same thing on this side. We'll unfurl this back piece right over here. We'll actually open this piece right over here. We'll bring his arm, his shoulder guard right up like this, and then this piece goes right in here. So we just want to bring all of that down and then snap that in, and that works so much better on this side and everything. And then right here, we'll just peg this right into his hand, and you'll see that actually looks a lot cleaner. And then right over here, we'll disjoint it because this actually connects right in here. And then we are actually going to go right over here to the front of his body. We'll dislodge his head right over here, and there's a peg connector going right over here. I like the fencing that's going on in here also. So there's a peg connector that goes right in here, and then that actually allows us to dislodge this. And the one thing that's actually different from the Siege Springer, from the version of Siege Springer, is that this is a lot cleaner, and this actually just makes his head go right in there. And then we will take this, bring this down here, and then we'll open up his back right over here. There we go. We'll actually do that, and then that allows us to get right in here. Right after that, we'll bring down these two pegs. We'll put his head on the inside, and then that actually stores right in here really nicely. And then bring this right up like this, and that is a great re-engineered job right there. I actually have to say Hasbro did an amazing job with fixing all of this. Now let's move down to his legs, which is actually really simple. We just want to tilt his heels outwards, and then we actually just want to bring this down, and then we just want to bring these out his tail fins right over here, and then we'll actually kind of like, we'll bend his leg again and then take out the tail fins. And there we go, and now we'll actually connect it right down here. So there we are. Rotate his legs just right at that juncture right there, and we'll bring that up here. And now we'll actually bring his arms all the way up, and then just get that just nestled right in here for now. And then we'll actually do that on the other side, and then we'll actually bring his legs up and then bring his back. Let's just bring his back up a little bit. We'll do this, and then there we go, and then we'll bring everything up see, you just have to make room for his heels to go right in here. And then just remember to squeeze everything in here. It's actually going to go on one plane in just a minute. I just want to make sure that we actually have everything situated. And then this should actually rock a little bit forward. But let's get these arms up here. There we go. And then that will actually, we just have to like secure it to go like right past this panel right over here and over here. And that should actually connect everything right on the inside over here, and then connect these two pieces right in here. So let's just do that, and we'll just slide this up a little bit, and then there goes our juncture. And then we'll actually do the same thing on the other end. We'll just slide this up. It's a little bit of a pain, but once you actually have it, you have it. And then just give that a little bit of a squeeze, and there we go. That's the front end of the car. And then once we've actually got the front end of the car going, we could actually just do this, and then that should actually snap all the way inside. There are pieces right underneath his heel that are actually going to be, that are actually right underneath the front of his foot, that are actually going right in here. And then over here, you're actually going to be doing the same thing, and then just snap everything in, and then it should actually be totally rocking and rolling there. And then we will just put that all together. And then once we're done with that, we actually have his armored car mode, and it's exquisite. Let's get into comparisons. The comparison of armored car versus armored car, which is great. I really have loved this. This is the Siege Springer that I started off with, and I'm kind of hard pressed not to let this go, because when we didn't have Springer, this was the Springer for me and everything, and he was just really great. This actually kind of like even surpassed the Thrilling 30s Springer to me and everything, and I really loved it just for being just like so old school Springer to me and everything like that. Like, he was great. But now we have this aggressive MF, and this guy is just really awesome. I'm loving all of the details that they actually added to this guy. We actually have these things right over here. These I wanted to call them intakes and everything like that for his engine. And then we actually also have like a new piece right over here that actually brings out a lot more aggression and everything. His hood is actually like really amazing and angular. I love that so much. And let's see, let's compare him side by side with the older version of Springer. And really, there's nothing wrong with this version of Springer. If you actually really wanted to keep this all together, you could. But for me, I'm really loving the whole take on the anime Springer that we actually saw on screen and everything. That actually really just makes him the superior Springer to me. Let's take a look at the front hood. There we go, and that's actually really great. Again, those angular details just speak to me and everything. Darkened window as opposed to like the electric blue window that we actually have over here. So that's actually really nice. The one thing that I kind of like love also is the fact that we actually have this going on right over here with the exhaust and everything going on this version of Springer. I love that a lot. And this one is actually not bad at all or anything like that. I kind of like feel as though we're actually getting like a little bit of old school Batman over here with the one jet that's actually coming out right over here, which would have actually been great if we actually got this design and blast effects compatibility also and everything, but like this, not blast effects compatible at all or anything. I would have loved to have actually seen that. That would have actually put this guy over the top for me and everything, you know? But you can't have everything, right? So there we go. And really, this is actually just like really leaps and bounds, like so much better than this version. Let me just bring this out just a little bit more so you can actually see it a little bit better. And there we go. I'm really in love with this. Like, I think 86 actually just really just knocked it out of the park there and everything, you know? We have like a lot of the same design details that we actually have right over here and over here. Still the same venting that's actually going over here. The only thing that's actually really changed right over here is actually like the full backpack over here and everything like that. We actually had like a tricolor going over here with the exhaust and all this other jazz. Over here, it's actually tricolored also, but very lightly with the yellow and everything, you know? So there we go right there. And I love the intakes that are actually over here. Just very, very nice, you know? And the front ends on these are actually really spectacular. Again, I'm looking at each and every detail over here on Springer or the Springers, and I just really love everything that's actually going on with the new version and everything, you know? This is the 2004, 1986 version and everything, you know? So like, always, I'm pretty sure like a newer version will actually have to win and everything. Actually, let me just show you exactly what else you can actually do here. And for that, I'm actually gonna bring in some of the weapons and everything. So like, I love the fact that we can actually include the helicopter. We can actually include the helicopter blades right over here and everything like that. You just flip them over for helicopter mode. And then if you actually wanted to, you can actually like supply blasters on the front over here and everything, you know, just like really arm him up, you know, because he is waiting to get his hands on some of the Decepticons and everything like that. And then over here, we can actually like add his blaster. It looks a little weird being on this angle, but you could always straighten that up if you actually wanted to. You could actually kind of like have like his death from above bomb here and everything like that. So there we go. And then with this with the Siege version of Springer, you actually had like a couple of things that you could actually do over there also and everything. If you really wanted to, you could actually kind of like add his blaster right over here, and then like there was really no real right or wrong answer for like how you actually like added the blaster on and everything. You could actually kind of like put those in these two ports right over here. There we are. And if you actually really needed to give him like a little bit of extra aggression and everything, you can actually add his blades right over here and over here. And for my version of Springer, this was always like a little bit weak and everything. I never like keys that or anything like that, or never used floor polish. But there you go. That's just to give you like an idea of what you can actually do. And again, this guy just like takes the cake and everything when it actually comes down to pure road rage aggression and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, which one are you actually looking to see in Mad Max Furiosa? This guy right over here. You know, like I'm pretty sure that that's actually exactly what you would actually be like, what you'd actually be soiling your pantaloons for and everything. You know what I mean? So like, I love this so much. Anyway, let's get over to chopper mode and let's do it. 1, 2, 3, headshot! Let's start off by removing all the weaponry. And now that we've gotten all the weaponry off, well, let's just remove these helicopter blades right over here. That's actually just like an easy transformation. All we want to do is just like open them up, and you can actually kind of like splay them out like this and keep this just like so. Or you can actually kind of like bring these two down either way and everything. So like, there we go. Those are your helicopter blades. After you're done with the helicopter blades, you can actually just like bring this down and this down just like that. And we are just going to open all of this right over here. And then we'll actually unfurl the legs right over here, and then we'll actually like just bring them out of that cavity. And then we're actually going to start working on, actually, just let me remove the arms too here, because that's actually going to be really important pretty soon. And then we'll actually unattach it just like this. There we go. I hope I'm not going to break it. There we go. And once we actually do that, then we can actually kind of like go over here, and then we'll bring these two halves down right over here, and those are actually the halves to his trousers. And then we'll actually reverse this right over here, right by the upper hip, and then we'll actually do the same thing just like so. And then we will bring this all the way up like this. And I love the coloring that's actually going on right over here. Once we're actually done over here, we'll just like do that, and then we'll bring the feet all the way to the inside, and then we'll actually do the same thing right on the other side. So lift his feet, bring them all the way to the inside, and then these two pieces right over here, we're actually going to just bring these outwards just like that. Bring his wheels outwards, just like so. And then once we're actually done here, we're actually just gonna combine everything right down here by doing that, and then just like making sure that they're actually all pegged in, and then bring these two pieces right over here, right underneath the cockpit. Oh, sorry, right underneath the cockpit. So let's just move this up. There we go. And then we'll bring all of that in just like that. And then these two pieces right over here, they'll actually clip underneath here, and they'll clip underneath here. And there we go. And then just bring the tail rudder all together. And there we go so far. Now, all we want to do is just bring the front end all the way out. Just let me unclip this. There we go. We actually have one side done, and then we'll actually work on the other side right here. And this is a little bit harder on my version than it was on the Siege Springer. So we'll bring this up, and then we'll bring this all the way inside here. And then before we do that, let's just unclip his arms. And then this is where we'll actually get these sections up and over, and then bring that all the way like this. And just let me give you a little bit more headroom. There we go. And then we'll actually reposition everything on the inside. So I think we can actually snap all of this on the inside here. And on my version of Springer right here, this is actually another one of my issues. It doesn't go all the way over like it usually is supposed to. I don't think that I can, I'm not going to be able to do it that way. And then there's a piece that actually stops right over here that actually stops this from like going all the way over. But I'm not exactly sure if this that's not the right orientation for this at all or anything like that. It's actually supposed to go up a little bit further. Anyway, let me fix this over here, and then this will actually snap right back in, and then that should actually snap over here, and then we'll actually have something like this. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. This side actually works a little bit better. So let's just open all of that up. We'll get this arm out. We'll swing that over just like that. We'll bring this back up, and then we'll actually peg this right back into his hand again. And then we'll bring everything back to where it was, and then we'll bring these a little bit lower. And then now this should actually go just like this. Just like slide that under here and slide this one under here. There we go. And then there are pegs that are actually going to be right here and right here that you just want to snap those into. So just give me just a moment. Just let me bring this like that, and then I think there it goes. You see, there's a peg that actually there's a peg hole that actually goes right in there. Just let me clear up the camera. There we are. And then all you want to do is just like slide this just like so, and then clip that in. And then this one goes right in here. So just want to make sure that you actually do all of that. And then just kind of, there we go. Squeeze that in a little bit. And then these two pieces are actually supposed to go like so and like so. And then the one thing that this actually shares with Siege Springer is that there are two tabs that are actually going over here and over here that are actually supposed to go into his feet right down here, and then into these two pieces. And they haven't stopped making that hard as hell to actually get all acclimated, but there we are. And then once you actually squeeze that in, you could actually get the propeller. There we go. And there we go. And then once you actually have all of that done, you have 86 Springer in chopper mode. Now, I'm not going to say what everybody wants me to say, man. I'm not going to say, get into chopper. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Don't force me to say, get into chopper. I'm not going to say it. I'm not, okay? I'm a little more classy than that, you know? Yeah, me. But anyway, like, look at these guys. Now, this is actually really where it gets interesting for me. Because on this version of Springer, you actually have like the ability to hold his weaponry right over here and over here, and that was actually really nice for a little bit of like aggressive negotiation and everything, you know. But there we go. This let's give you the bare bones choppers. And for the bare bones choppers, they look pretty great to each other, you know, like they are pretty much almost matching 1-to-1 and everything, you know. Again, we actually still have the aggressive hood right over here and everything. That actually makes all the difference to me. Plus, I love the fact that we actually have the the blades of the helicopter going into the blades of into the blade or the broadsword that's actually for Springer and everything. So that actually will always win to me, like hand over foot, you know what I mean? But like, as far as this is concerned, there we go. That's the spin on that, and this is the spin on this. Pretty comparable, you know what I mean? They're actually very free-flowing with each other and everything, you know? Like, this one actually has like a lot better of a spin because of the way it's actually made. I was actually kind of hoping that we'd actually still have the same thing over here, but that's not too bad or anything like that as far as like a spin is actually concerned. Again, this one actually just wins when it comes down to the spin, you know? But aside from that, really just like the comparability of the both of them are actually just like really just like, it's actually almost apples to apples in this case and everything. We actually have the more aggressive piece right over here and everything like that for the intake of the helicopter altogether, you know? So that will actually always win. And I love the fact that he actually just like looks like his animation counterpart and everything, you know? Just really great all the way through. Like I said before, this paint right over here on this side just like really wins to me and everything, you know? And then just in comparison right over here, yeah, that's really nice. On my copy though, I actually just have like this little thing with the arm and everything like that. This doesn't go all the way down. And so on my copy, this piece actually juts up a little bit more than this piece right over here. I'm not exactly sure how to solve that altogether or anything like that. But aside from that, I really can't complain. As far as like the connection pieces that are on the inside over here, I actually had the same issue with this version of Springer, but I was able to use like a little bit of keykeys to like actually help with like keeping everything nice and tight, you know what I mean? So there are a couple of things that I actually used keykeys for on this, and a couple of things that were actually good that I didn't need to. Like on this version for robot mode, I actually had to use keykeys in order to get the backpack all fixed and just like flush, like right against Springer's body. On this one, the tolerances are actually so much more outstanding, you know? Like I hardly need to do anything to this version altogether. There's just like maybe a couple of like nice little things that I just want to do to just tighten them up, and then like just a few like small places. But aside from that, he's actually really great. And just let me bring this out just a little bit more, and there we go. That way you can actually see the helicopter a little bit better. And there we are. That's actually really cool. And if you really wanted to, again, you could actually attach like maybe a couple of weapons here and there and everything. So let's try this. Oh, and then you can actually kind of like see where the yellow is right over here. That's where the paint is actually coming off, or like right on the inside. But it's really not so bad where it's actually going to be like super noticeable or anything like that. So there we are. So there, and then he still flies with his blaster right on the side and everything like that. And just let's see if we could actually just kind of like arm him up a little bit more. So we actually have his death from above missile right there, and then that'll actually stop it, you know. So like you can actually use it or not and all that. So just let me take that off. I don't think I actually have another place for it, but at the same time you can actually use his blasters. So there we go. And then instead of like being like right on the top, it's actually just like right on the side over here. So that's actually really great. And there we go. And I'll just like include that. And then there we are. That's actually really, really nice looking. I don't think you can actually put the hammer onto it if you actually really needed to like bring the hammer of Solus along with you or anything like that. No, that'll actually kind of like mess things up here. But there we are. That's Springer for you right there. You know, I really love this Springer a lot. Oh wait, let me say something. Can you? I was kind of hoping that we could actually have like another connection port, because I saw this over here. There goes for hoping. I was kind of hoping that we could actually have a way of like getting every single one of his weapons onto him while he's actually in helicopter mode. I was actually kind of like almost fixated with like thinking that this would actually work too and everything, which it does. But as far as like how he actually works over here, no, it's not even gonna work there or anything like that. But like, there we go. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with this guy altogether and everything, you know. And I thought I made like a couple of like other alternate discoveries just now and everything like that. I'm sorry I disappointed you all with like, because like I really do love this guy. I don't think that I actually have to sell him as much or anything like that, or here or anything like that, because like right over here, like you're actually getting a classic Springer, and then I just really think that that's actually really extraordinary. This, like I said before, there's nothing wrong with this guy whatsoever. If you wanted to keep this version of Springer in your collection and everything and have him be your Springer, you know, like, it's your collection, you win. But like, this guy is actually, like, he's great. But like, since I actually got this version in hand, he's actually far outdated and everything. I'm pretty much sure I'm gonna keep him in my Siege collection for now until I figure out exactly what I'm actually going to do with this version, if I'm actually going to keep him or sell him or anything like that. But this version right over here just like far outweighs everything I thought I could have actually hoped for in Springer. And the fact that he's actually just like a head taller in robot mode just really wins to me. And what we actually have over here, I really love how we actually have the venting on the back of this and everything all together. That's really nice for exhaust and that sort of thing. Again, I kind of wish we could have actually had like the, we could have actually had blast effects compatibility for right here also and everything, because like that would have actually been very cool as far as the speed copter is actually concerned. And let's look on the underside. Really nice. I love the way they hide the head over here, you know, just very cool. On this version, you actually had to like kind of like turn the head all the way around to like actually like have that as well hidden. But on this, I love the fact that we actually have like these panels right over here. They don't fall off as easily as say this one does too. Like when I'm transforming this guy, I know one of these panels actually have like has like a tendency to like pop right off and everything like that. And it's not a hard thing to like pop them right back on or anything like that, but at the same time, kind of a pain. So I'm glad that they actually changed a lot around there on everything too, you know, so very cool. And in setting up this shot, my inspiration was setting up the most misogynistic shot that I could possibly think of making. And you let me know if I actually did right, because this is Springer here. He is the Han Solo of the whole entire Transformers universe, and he is he's actually here. He's actually doing his thing, you know what I mean? RC, kick rocks, you know what you did. Anyway, this guy is actually great. If you actually have the ability to find him and get him, please do. I think he's actually awesome and well worth your time and money, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna have final thoughts in just a moment. Now, I know that getting a Studio Series 86 Springer is actually kind of like a tough sell. I know, because I actually had the same thing going myself and everything. Why would I actually need an updated Springer? But when you actually finally see him in hand, when you actually see him in package, when you actually have him in hand, all questions are answered. And I think he's actually really well worth it and everything. He's actually so much more well crafted than the last version of Springer. There were a couple of tolerances that were actually fixed. On my copy though, there were a couple of tolerances that I actually have to readdress. Do I recommend him? I do. I think he's actually pretty awesome. He's actually got a great array of weapons and everything, you know, and plus, how are you actually going to destroy Devastator without this? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's actually great. For the hammer, it's a very cool accessory. I don't know if it's actually really needed or anything like that, but it's very cool to have it in hand and everything. I'm not exactly sure if I'm actually going to leave it with Springer, who's indeed worthy of carrying the hammer, or if I'm actually going to give it to someone else, but the record symbol must be on there real soon. I know I actually have like a Toy Hacks emblem that I can actually put there and everything, but neither here nor there. I love Springer. I think he's actually awesome. I give him a 1000% approval. If you actually decide to get him, I know you'll actually be happy with him. Let me know how you actually feel about this guy in the comments, because I'm dying to know exactly what you actually think at first sight, or if you actually already have him, how are you actually enjoying him? Leave me a comment. I appreciate everything that you actually do. I am always dying to share with you the toys, about the toys and like the figures and like even the pop culture that I'm actually looking forward to or loving. So always I'm dying to like actually get to know each and every one of you also, so like always leave the comments and everything. As always, love is an action word. Always please share love and joy and kindness, because that's actually far and few between, and let's actually let that flourish out there and make it become a part of our social consciousness. Make sure you actually spread that love and awareness and the mindfulness all the way around through to each and every one of you, family, friends, best enemies. Throw it up to the Fibonacci series of the universe, bring it back down here to Earth, right over to HQ, where I could actually use all of it myself. And as always, when these stop being magical, that's when I'll stop collecting. I look forward to talking to each and every one of you soon.